If you can't say no without trembling, you're not being polite, you're being conquered. Every time you agree to something you don't want, every time you over-explain your limits to someone who doesn't respect them, every time you apologize for protecting your time, you're bleeding authority, slowly, quietly, permanently. Machiavelli warned that weakness is never neutral. It invites control. And for women, history has been one long test of boundaries. Society has always tried to stretch, bend, or erase them. But boundaries don't mean becoming cold or aggressive. In fact, the most powerful boundaries often look calm, even effortless. Think of Harriet Tubman. She didn't waste time explaining herself to slave catchers. She didn't negotiate her freedom. She simply said no with her actions, no to slavery, no to fear, and led others to safety. That kind of silent finality is what true boundaries look like. Most people don't fail at boundaries because they're weak. They fail because they're scared. Scared of looking selfish. Scared of conflict. Scared of losing connection. Women, in particular, are raised to believe that being agreeable is survival, that if you say no, people will call you difficult, ungrateful, or cold. And so you smile, you nod, you say, "Sure, I can do that," while your chest tightens and your schedule collapses. That isn't kindness. That's strategic self-sabotage. Machiavelli wrote, "He who is not master of himself will be mastered by others." Swap he for she, and you have the blueprint for modern womanhood. If you don't guard your time and energy, someone else will seize them, and they won't ask permission. Look at the workplace. The woman who always says yes is praised for being helpful, then overlooked for leadership because she doesn't project authority. Meanwhile, the woman who knows how to say no with clarity gets labeled intimidating, but she's also respected. People know they can't waste her time. That's not arrogance. That's power. Children test boundaries constantly. Adults do it too, they're just sneakier. Say no to someone used to hearing yes, and you'll trigger a reaction. Expect it. Endure it. Cleopatra did. She ruled Egypt in a world dominated by Roman men, and her boundaries were legendary. She didn't survive by begging for respect. She survived by commanding it, through silence, presence, and selective access. And here's the secret. The moment you over-explain a boundary, you start negotiating it. When you say, "I'm sorry, I can't help because I'm exhausted, but maybe next week," what people hear is, "Convince me." Strong rulers declare, weak rulers explain, decide slowly, deny firmly. Margaret Thatcher once said, "Being powerful is like being a lady." If you have to tell people you are, you aren't. The Iron Lady didn't beg people to like her. She enforced her lines with finality. That's the posture you need when you say no. Shoulders back, calm tone, eye contact, short sentences, a no that doesn't waver. And here's where female history gives us another weapon: ambiguity. Sojourner Truth didn't draw a neat red line around what she would or wouldn't tolerate. She let people stew in uncertainty, never knowing how far she'd go. That ambiguity made her harder to control. You can use the same principle. When someone pushes, try, "That's not a priority right now," or "Let me think about that." You've said nothing, but they've heard everything. Now they're unsure how far they can press. That's power. Not every boundary is spoken. Sometimes the most powerful move is withdrawal. When Eleanor Roosevelt was belittled or dismissed, she didn't waste time in endless arguments. She cut access, walked away, created space. That absence was punishment enough. You don't need to scream. You don't need to fight. You just stop granting your presence. And suddenly, the vacuum you leave behind does the teaching for you. People respect strength, but they fear unpredictability. So build a reputation that enforces your limits before you even open your mouth. The suffragettes did this. Their reputation for persistence, even when beaten or jailed, became their shield. The government didn't just see women anymore, they saw a force that wouldn't bend. So how do you actually practice this in your own life? Enforce your rules early. The first time someone crosses a line, respond. Be consistent. Boundaries that fluctuate become invitations to push. Let others talk. Your actions will travel faster than your explanations. And stop performing for approval. Boundaries built on people-pleasing will crumble. Here's the real truth. The biggest reason women fail at boundaries isn't strategy, it's shame. That little voice whispering, if I say no, I'll disappoint them. If I protect myself, I'm selfish. These aren't morals. They're chains. Chains designed to make you manageable. But as Machiavelli would remind you, structure is power. Boundaries are your structure. They aren't rejection. They're architecture, the frame that holds up everything else. So next time someone asks for more of you, more time, more effort, more access, remember this: peace bought with self-abandonment isn't peace. It's quiet defeat. Say no without apology. Enforce without explanation. Use silence, presence, and reputation as your shield. Build walls where you must. Withdraw when necessary. And above all, believe that you have the right to define your own limits, because the world will take everything you don't protect. And when you finally say no, that ends here. You're not just guarding your time, you're declaring your worth.